Hey, welcome to week 5 of ELF 694, Diversity in Higher Education. Hopefully you all had a good week 4. I know that we had quite a bit of reading, but hopefully you enjoyed it. So I am bound and determined, as I've said many times, bound and determined to make this a short video, so here we go. So a quick look back at week 4. As I said, I know we had quite a few readings. I am hoping that you found them extremely interesting. As I said in my intro video last week and in the week 4 lecture, which again is posted under course documents, and it's called Week 4 Lecture. These intro videos under course documents will be simply listed by their week names. Long lectures will be called Week 4 Lecture. Again, small distinction, but anyway. So I went into further detail, as you know, into the readings of Week 4. I tried to keep it relatively brief and just touch on what I believe to be the high points and points in need of clarification. So, looking back at week 4, the only assignment that you had was to respond to week 4 discussion board. I weighed in on a few of the of the conversations going on there. They continue to be very, very good. I appreciate that. And so typically, again, what I'll be doing is just weighing in and hopefully giving you some food for thought, correcting course, things of that nature. And so again, this was a week in week 4 where we were refining our definitions and understanding of diversity. Had some historical perspectives, particularly when you're looking at the critical mass article and the diversity rationale. But just another way of looking at some of the many, as I think you're probably learning at this point, many ways of looking and understanding diversity, particularly in higher education. So this is just a quick recap. Diversity for what? Dynamic diversity, goals of multicultural education. This is where I spent quite a bit of time in the lecture looking at multicultural versus pluralism. In some people's view, it's a fine distinction, but it's an important one, and it can be a little difficult to get your head wrapped around. You'll hear those terms at times used maybe interchangeably, and hopefully, as you saw from that article, that's not exactly the way that the terms were intended. So spent some time looking at that in the lecture. The diversity rationale, what's diversity got to do with it, and has diversity lost its meaning? So, as I said in last week's introduction video, a bit of refinement for our definitions of diversity and our understanding, but also some more contemporary challenges to traditional ways of thinking about diversity and its role in higher education. So, let's head for week 5. We've got 5 readings. Again, somewhat similar in terms of pace and formatting to last week. What we'll be focusing on, as you can probably see here from the first couple of readings, definitions of cultural competence, first 3 readings, I should say, excuse me, and the 4th reading we have listed here, equity and excellence in education. So what I really like about this week, particularly when we're looking at definitions of cultural competence and excellence in education, I kind of see this as, although I think all the weeks are, but this is really sort of a contemporary issues week. If you're working in, as you all know from some of my introductions, I'm sort of working in the community space around higher education, and these are terms that you hear quite a bit. Excellence in equity and excellence in education in particular is something that's taken on a significant role in K-12 and bleeding into higher education in the national scale, and here locally in Louisville as well. I can talk a bit more about that, and I will talk more about that in the lecture that I post midweek. And cultural competence, that is the definitional or the operational definitions of that, and the nuanced understanding. It kind of harkens back to last week's discussion and understanding of the differences between pluralism and multiculturalism. So you can see that we're starting to get really fine-grained, nuanced understandings of diversity, and we're moving beyond sort of the early scope of just simply defining diversity. So again, our only assignment this week is to respond to the week 5 discussion board post. But looking ahead, there are some things coming up. So number 1, I posted the discussion leader assignments. That's in an Excel spreadsheet under course documents. And as I always do, I've titled it very creatively, discussion leader assignments. So that's by week. There's a fuller description in the course syllabus. This should be relatively straightforward. Really all I want to do is just have each of you take a hand at engaging your classmates. And so typically what folks will do is they will post something on our discussion board, and that's what I would like for you to do is to post these assignments on a discussion board in Blackboard. And that can be, as described in the syllabus, that can be a video, that can be a current event description and detailing, or that can be a discussion board post like I post every week. I'm going to leave that a little bit up to you. There are some examples in the syllabus, and please feel free to use my discussion board posting as an example that you can build upon also. I noticed that in our culture box assignment a few weeks ago, there was quite a bit of creativity, so I'm very confident that you all will feel the same sort of license. I had an offline conversation with a member of the class here where I encouraged that person to be very creative and very liberal in their interpretation of some of these assignments where I give you that sort of latitude. So please, feel that kind of freedom again in this assignment. Current event blogs. I did have a question earlier in the week, or maybe even today, about my example, and I just wanted to bring up quickly the way to navigate to this is via Blackboard. Excuse me as I drag the screen over. Via Blackboard, if you go to current event blog, it will bring up, of course, the current event blog. And here you saw a couple of weeks ago I posted the instructions. What you'll want to do is go over to the blog details section here, and you'll be able to look by author. You'll be able to, let's see how quickly this scrolls through, but you'll be able to look by author. I've posted an example. So here you can see my example right here. I posted one. There we go. September 11th. So you can see that it's pretty short and sweet. It's got the original article linked, and that's really what I'm looking for. And I've noticed that a couple of people have posted theirs, and that's fantastic, and I'm excited about that. So please use mine as an example, and feel free to build upon the work of your classmates as well. And then finally, just a reminder, your first short memo will be due October 2nd. That's looking pretty far in the future, but just as a reminder that is upcoming as well. So that's what we have on tap for the week. I'll be posting your long lecture, week 5 lecture is what I'll be calling it, in course documents here in the next day or so. And as always, please feel free to reach out and let me know if you have any questions or comments. Have a great week. Thanks, everybody.